So what's the difference between calling in and calling out? Let's imagine we're in a meeting together, all of us together, and I say something that's inappropriate. If you decide to call me in, what might that look like? Well, usually it's going to take place after the meeting and it's going to be in private, one-on-one. You might challenge me and tell me that I said something that was inappropriate, and maybe I take that on board. But for those people in the meeting who were witness to what was said, as far as they're concerned, there's been nothing actioned. And so there's been no red line drawn for them. And if there was an individual in the room who was seeking an ally, somebody to stand up for them in that moment, they were missing that ally as well. So there's no ally in the room for them. For me, however, it would be less embarrassing, less awkward, less humiliating having that one-on-one with you rather than you having called me out in the room. So there's a positive for me being called in, but there's a negative as far as the group is concerned because there's no red line drawn for them, and somebody seeking an ally probably feels more alone than ever. So the alternative to calling in is calling out. Now, calling out obviously happens right there and then in the moment, and it's you challenging me in front of everybody else here with us to say that what I've said was inappropriate. It does set a red line for the group. The group knows then that if somebody says something like this in the future, they're going to get challenged on it, which is great. And if somebody's needing an ally in that moment, somebody who is going to defend them and come to them with support, then that too is really good because they can see that there's somebody who's prepared to do that. So that's great as well. It's a much quicker way of learning because everybody's had that opportunity to learn together. But it might be a bit more embarrassing for me. Maybe I feel humiliated. Maybe I'm the one who ends up disengaging because I feel like I've been embarrassed in front of everybody else. So how you call out is really, really important. Remembering that our ultimate aim is to keep everybody engaged in the room and make sure that everybody's still up for the conversation beyond that challenge. So that's really quite hard and tricky to do. You probably live somewhere between call in and call out as far as your go-to method is concerned right now. So some people you might feel more comfortable calling out. Some people you might feel you'd still need to call in. It might be that if something's likely to really derail a meeting, that you would choose calling in versus calling out instead, and that too is okay. The important thing to remember is if you've called in, the person being called in has an opportunity to go back to the group later and let them know that, you know what, I didn't realize that I said this last meeting, but Bob called me in and pulled me to one side and talked to me and explained what I'd done wrong. And now I know, so I'll do better next time. Thanks, Bob, for calling me in, and you all can call me out in the future. If you do that, then you've set some best practice as far as how to react when you've been challenged. It also means that the rest of the group now understands that if this happens again, somebody is going to say something, and if somebody was looking for an ally in that moment, they too know that there was one. So living in between calling in and calling out is great. Ideally you want to aim for calling out eventually, but if somebody's prepared to circle the square and go back to the group afterwards, then calling can still be really powerful.